So Gerard, when did you go into this homosexual lifestyle?
Well, when I got a little bit older every year, I became more angry, more bitter, resentful, almost militant, because I was so angry with life. I felt like I was cheated. I saw my brothers, and my brothers got love from my mom and dad, and I felt like I was looking through a window. And it's not their fault. It was just the fact that I was gone. And there was no bonding. So when I got so rebellious, so angry, I just realized that I had a attraction for the same sex. Not a sexual thing. It was more, I was looking for love. It probably would have turned into a sexual thing, but I was really wanting to be loved so bad.
Now, Gerard, you were telling me earlier that your mom and dad was very busy. They owned a supper club. And when you were there one time, you told me that you saw a magazine. Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, you know, it's so funny. It was December 12th, 1977. I went to my dad's supper club for supper. It was after school. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday of the week. And one of the waitresses had a magazine called People Magazine. And I just, in fact, I brought it along. I mean, I went to the library with a copy of the issue of December 12th. I thought it was a man with a trumpet. I don't know where I saw that picture, but it was these three guys, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I just went through the magazine, and then I came to this article about a teacher where it says, we gays have our own history and culture, and Don Amador is the expert. And I was sitting reading at the restaurant, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's almost like my first time seeing a gay couple. And I'm reading this article, and I thought, so I went to the waitress and I said, could I just take this magazine home, please? I really like to, you know, to read it and can I take it home? And she said, yeah, take it home. So I went down to my mom and back home and went to the basement. They had a red phone, and when I called information, and I thought, I want to talk to this guy. This is my first time seeing a gay couple, you know. And I called 411. I got Don Amador's phone number, and what was so funny was I got it, you know. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like not listed. And
so how did your conversation with him proceed?
Well, it's funny. He answered the phone. I said, are you Don Amador? Are you the one that was in the People magazine? And I said, yes, I was. And I was fell off my seat, you know. And I thought, well, I said, my name is Gerard Dols. I'm from Richmond, Minnesota, and I need to run away. I'm being abused. And
was that true?
Well, it wasn't true. It was. I just wanted to find myself. I wanted to find something about who I really was. And I thought if I could just lie here, you know,
he would help you.
It would help me, you know. And Don said, you know, I'm sorry, Gerard, but this is not a really open place for you to come to. It's not open in West Hollywood. But we have a friend that just flew in today from San Francisco. He just won his election in November of '77. He can help you. It's much more open there. His name is Harvey Milk. He flew in from San Francisco, and he will talk to you. So he came on the phone, and I had no clue who Harvey Milk was. I've never seen any articles about him. I just thought, okay, here's Harvey Milk, and I want to talk to this guy. And I said, well, my name is Gerard, and I need help. I'm being abused. Could you please help me? He said, well, because I told him I was being abused, he thought I should get out of the house. He thought, you know, I'm in danger. Of course,
Harvey Milk thought so.
He thought I was, Harvey Milk thought I was being abused. And
so he wanted to help you.
He really wanted to help me. He thought, you know, I was 17 years old, and he said, what he said on the phone was, you need to run away. You need to come to San Francisco. My partner and I will help you. I'm going to send you a letter with the information. Just try to get on a bus or whatever. Just come to San Francisco. We talked for an hour. And for the first time, when I was talking to him, I mean, I felt like he really cared, you know. And my dad cared, but it was out of distance because we just didn't know how to relate. But this guy was sort of like relating to me what I was going through. I'm sure he was going through that when he was a teenager. So he was like, you know, helping me. And so we talked an hour, and he said, I'm going to send you a letter. Just, you know, do what the letter says. So a week later, my mother and dad came up to me and said, I have a letter here. Who is this Harvey Milk?
Oh.
And I don't remember what I said, but they said, you're not going to run away. You know, who do you think you are, you know, leaving?
Yeah.
And so they went to their local state representative. His name was Mr. Brinkman. He was a state representative of Minnesota in the House. And they said, you know, this guy, Harvey Milk, you don't know who he is. He wants to take Gerard away from us. Can you please help us? So Mr. Brinkman, State Representative Brinkman, went to the State Attorney General's office, Minnesota State Attorney, and said, can you make a stop to this? Can you call Harvey Milk's office and tell him, you know, why is he trying to take him away? Make a stop to this.
Because you were, at the time, you were 17.
Old. I mean, 17 years old. And I know that I told him I was 17. I know I didn't lie about that. But the fact is,
he thought that you were being
abused. And so what happened was, the next thing was, a week later I called Harvey Milk and I said, I got the letter for about 4 seconds, but I don't know the information. He said, Gerard, you can't come. And I didn't know this, but when the Attorney General's office called, I didn't know this, that they said, you can't take him. He's only 17. And Harvey said, Gerard, they contacted me and they say you can't come now. Can you just wait 9 months? You can come here in 9 months. And if you do that, my partner and I will help you. Just hold on. Just, you know. And that was in beginning of January of '78. So I had 9 months left. And it was very difficult because, just to let you know, my parents just found out in '77 by a school counselor that I was gay. I had told my school counselor. And in 1977...
That wasn't real open.
It wasn't open like it is today. In fact, people got really persecuted. You know, I mean, if they said they were gay and the family member would kick them out, of course my parents loved me. They weren't going to kick me out, even though they knew I was gay. So Harvey said, wait until, September 8th, 1978, you can come here on your 18th birthday. So all summer I talked to Harvey Milk on the phone, just to let him know how I was doing, and he was encouraging me, and, just a few more months left, and so he said, now when you come here, make sure you got your plane ticket, get everything ready. So I got my plane ticket, and I called Harvey Milk's house on the last week of August of '78, because I had like 10 days before I had to move to San Francisco. And so what happened was, I called Harvey Milk's home, and his partner Jack answered the phone, and we started talking, and I told him I'm coming on this day, here's my flight number. And Jack said, why are you coming here? Are you trying to take Harvey away from me? Are you trying to, are you trying to...
Come between us.
Pardon me?
Come between us.
Right, and as a 17-year-old boy who's going to be 18 in a few days, I didn't have a clue why he would think that, And we started arguing. Now I had called him my time at 8 o'clock, it was 6 o'clock their time. And Harvey Milk wasn't home from work yet, so Harvey wasn't home yet, and so he hanged up on me after we argued, and I thought, well, fine. I just called Ann, the secretary, at City Hall tomorrow to give Ann my flight number. So Ann answered the phone the next day, and I said, Ann, here's my flight number. I'm coming, to be with Jack and Harvey, and Ann was really down, and she said, Dre, you can't come now. And I said, why? He said, well, Jack committed suicide last night. Oh, I was so overwhelmed. I thought, my God, have I caused somebody to commit suicide? And I said, well, what time did Harvey get home, or what time does this happen? And said, well, Harvey came home at 6:30. In my mind, I'm thinking it's 6 o'clock. I just talked to him, so he killed himself within that half hour. In the movie, he hanged himself. And it was very devastating on my part and for Harvey Milk's part, but I was really devastated because I thought I was to blame for his...
So you put your plans to go out west on hold, or did you go anyway?